Righty-ho! It's the Stoxradio Advent Calendar. You scumbag, you maggot, you cheap lousy, no. Merry Christmas from Mike Prillo. Day 18.
So, 7 days left on the Advent Calendar for 2015. And today we look at one of the stars of 2014. Continuing his form from winning the Novice of the Year in 2014, Steve Gilbert has had a very up and down season. We caught up with him on very much the up part. Right, 2015 we're in now, but a 2014 Novice of the Year for Brisker Formula 2 as a young chap called Steve Gilbert. Steve, congratulations, you must be delighted.
I'm absolutely over the moon. I mean, the hard work all the way through the year has finally paid off, and it's an absolute pleasure to see all these people turn out to see me pick up my trophy.
It's a wonderful crowd, isn't it? It's something a bit different, isn't it?
It's absolutely amazing. I've never seen this many people in one spot, apart from obviously a Cow and Beef World Final this year. But
obviously, the other thing you're looking at, but there's so many people here. I mean, it's a bit different from a domestic St. Day, isn't it?
it's absolutely on complete another world. When I was stood up there on the stage, all the words that were in my mind just completely went. I was blank as you like.
Okay, we're looking at, obviously, season 2014. You start the year at Blue, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I didn't have the pace last year. It wasn't necessarily my year neither. I did struggle throughout the season trying to catch the likes of Chris Bradbury, Neil Hooper, George McMillan, your new world champion. We spent the last quarter of the season building this new KWR car, built by Kelvin Marshall, as he's now known. And we've done a few tests in that, and it's come out of the box is very quick. So.
And that's obviously a new car for the next season. Obviously, what's happened to the old car? Are you giving it back for sale, or?
No, we've actually sold it to Lee Pink. He was the Auto Speed Banger points champion, I believe.
Right, so it's a new driver to Formula 2, so that should be very good to hear. We also like to see, obviously, a Novice of the Year go on and do a bit further. Obviously, now there's one less person in the West Country to worry about with Chris Bradbury's retirement. And obviously with the likes of Neil Hooper and Justin Fisher and the like, James Reiger, you're looking to put a stamp on yourself this year to become a bit like your old man and top dog.
Well, I can say that's the plan, but I'm just going to take one race at a time at the moment. I'm still young. I've got plenty of years ahead of me. And I just look forward to racing with all these boys again in 2015.
We're looking at it now. We see the with the blue tops. Starting from blue top, that's certainly going to be an advantage to you, isn't it?
It'll definitely give me the good at the start of the race, the nice little gap from me to the likes of Neil and Chris and Gordon and everybody. But the trouble is with stock car racing nowadays, you get so many yellow flags thrown for anything. So like halfway through the race, it can be anybody's race from then on in anyway. And
of course, you're, as they alluded to in the presentation, your dad won this. Well, it's a slightly different event then. It was obviously a one-off race. At the back of them, when the Novice of the Year Championship was a one-off race where they lined up in reverse points order and took the flag, and your dad just half the way through. I think it was at Crewe, or something like that. Anyway, Bristol. Is it Bristol? I was saying that. There you go. I learn something new every day. But obviously you then become, to take it on, the first second generation Novice of the Year. You must be over the moon with that.
It's actually the first time I've heard about it today, and it's a nice feeling when you sat there and you listen to all Steve and yourself say it. It just warms you.
I was going to say, so 5 years' time you'll be European champion, yeah?
European? I can't guarantee anything, Johnny. As we've proved this year and many years before, stock car racing is so unpredictable. And all 40 drivers that will line up on that track, you could pick any number out of that, and it might be right and it might be wrong. Fingers crossed, but I can't guarantee anything, I'm afraid.
And a beautiful, now sunny Taunton meeting here at the wonderful Smithfield Stadium. A winner of the MDP Services Trophy is a man that was a blue top but you blinked and you're going to miss it because Steve Gilbert, you're back to red.
That will be long, as I said over the radio to Crispin. A lot of people are going to think that I sponged this, but trust me, I didn't want to be there. And I think we are back where we belong. Hopefully we can prove ourselves now. We've got the gear, we've got the pace. Let's have it.
So obviously today's been a bit more challenging than others because of the changing conditions in the heat. It was a bit slippy, slidey. Talk to us for that.
Yeah, the first heat was a nightmare just trying to find grip.
Well, we're looking at it obviously with the complete grip and the stuff like that, with the challenging conditions where the track dries out during the race and your track's there the rest of it, and you have the final where there was a lot of things happening there. I mean, there was Lee Morgan obviously there, gone in the distance. Tom Clark certainly keeping up the air, and obviously you had a very hairy incident happening behind you.
My thoughts on the race were just to keep my head down, try and keep the nose clean, just keep running the same consistent smooth laps, and hopefully a yellow flag will come out, and to my advantage it did. It just left me in a perfect place for it.
Yeah, because you were looking at it obviously when you had the yellow flag, you were then onto blue. You had Neil Hooper not too far behind you on the second yellow flag. Did that play into your mind thinking you could have it here?
No, not really, because I seen the oil was down. Like obviously, I don't know who threw the oil down, but with that, the cars, you tend to lose a lot of pace because you're going so wide on the corners. I know if I could just keep running smooth, they wouldn't catch me.
So back to red, looking like possibly a return for some flashes if your form keeps on going like it is.
I'm not going to say that we're going for it, but it'd be nice if we can get it on the way. Just taking it one race at a time at the moment.
Chat with winner of the Young Guns, I believe, and that is Steve Gilbert. Steve, that start was a bit hairy.
Yeah, I didn't really know how I got out of that, to be quite honest.
I think everyone, it was a little bit there. It was Craig Wallace and Ashley England decided to I'll turn one way, you turn the other, and they both drove each other into the wall.
Yeah, obviously I spotted that something was like going on, so I thought I'll turn to the infield and hopefully I'll be able to latch myself off of Craig, and thankfully it did, and we just managed to sort of keep the lead that we had and brought it home.
It's a minor title, but it's the first one for you.
Yeah, it's the first one apart from the Novice of the Year, but at the championship scene I always get really nervous on at the moment, and hopefully this will get rid of some of them.
Obviously, your next mission, obviously, is the British. That's race one of a busy weekend. What are you just aiming just to get on the grid and see where it goes?
I think with the pace that we got, I think we stand a good chance. But the problem that we've got is there's so many other good, quick drivers here, and I couldn't name all of them right now. So I think if I get on the grid and then just see how it goes in the race, hopefully I'll have the same luck as I did then.
And that's Steve Gilbert. Steve, winner of the Old Motorcycle Trophy.
About time we won something. I can't thank the team enough. I mean, I've got a monster car underneath me. It's so quick. If I just thank Lee from Frontline. I mean, you can see him there, and he's the best bloke ever. My granddad for always pushing us on. I'd like to thank Roy for taking the time out of his own day and driving me here, there, and everywhere, and God knows what else. Dad for being me gopher, really, and my mum for being the rock behind it all.
It's a little bit of a bone of contention in the family household now. Then that you've won a trophy that your dad never did, the Old Motorcycle, which is like a who's who of stock car racing. It's one that your dad never won.
Yeah, he did remind me of it in the week and said, "You best get on, and it's time to start winning something." Really. Yeah, I know I've heard he's come fairly close a few times, but I don't know. I think him and Jamesy had a couple of tussles over this one.
There's always, of course, a couple of tussles. Just talk us through that restart, because it looked as though it was probably looking like a tussle between Jamie Avery and Neil Hooper at one point, and he just got the perfect restart, just latched onto the pair of them and dumped them on the way.
Yeah. To be fair, I had a rough idea where Jay was going to go. I thought he was going to go early to try and get that gap, which, not being funny, anybody with any sense would have. And I went in the first bend a little bit wider and got a real good drive coming off the bend. once I seen Neil just go in and give Jay a real big hit, I just give him a little tap and went on like.
He's not done too well today, Mr. Hoover. Only 1 point for his showing so far today. But I suppose what goes around comes around.
I think it's a hard one to say. I think he is the best driver down here, and I'm not going to take nothing ever away from him. I do respect him as a driver. And he's helped me quite a lot throughout the year. Perhaps not in the way of car setups and stuff, but beating me wide and like knocking 7 barrels of bleep out of me.
Oh, you saved me a job there.
Yeah, we're just learning. Not being funny, I got that much respect for him and that James Ryger.
So you've won this trophy now, and you obviously season 2015 is looking like it's coming to an end for yourself. Only a couple more meetings now, isn't it? It's only you're only going to do in Taunton, aren't you, and possibly Birmingham.
We've got Taunton and both Birmingham's lined up. I wouldn't say I'm in the track championship running at Birmingham, but I'm about 31 points behind with 1 meeting to go, and with the recent form that we've had, you never know.
Exactly, and of course at Taunton, one of your, well, I wouldn't say you've got a love-hate relationship with it. You either do really well or really shockingly badly.
Still my favourite track. I love that place. I could go around there all day long. Yeah, we'll see what comes. Last year I got up to 5th in that final and ended up taking myself out, which has been kind of a custom thing this year, really.
Accidents have found you, not the other way around.
Yeah. I mean, I can think of plenty of times where I've made the own mistake myself, but you know.
So what's the plan for 2016? Obviously, it's for the World Final this year. It's mostly on shell next year, so it's a semi-final. So you're just going to be having one of those seasons where you just can kind of consolidate your position.
It's going to be one of those seasons where we just push really hard for every other title that's on tarmac, and if we do well enough to score quite highly for the semis in the world, I'll just hire a car.
Well, you didn't do too badly in your old car last time round.
No, it wasn't too bad. I think it was more luck than judgment, to be perfectly honest with you. I just sort of depended on everybody else taking themselves out and crashing and engine problems and whatnot, and it just paid off.
So, Steve, great to see you winning a big trophy, and it's good to see the Gilbert name back on one of these perennial cups.
It's about time, like I said at the start.
If you've missed any of our episodes, they are all available to download at our Spreaker site, spreaker.com/Stoxradio. You can listen again there, or alternatively, you can go to iTunes or go to the podcast section, search for Stoxradio, and hit subscribe, and you'll never miss an episode of Stoxradio. 21st of December sees the Stoxradio Review of the Year, with many different voices giving a comedic slant to the events of 2015. Should be one not to miss. Keep an eye on our Facebook and Twitter pages for those details of when that broadcast will be. Ho, ho! Oh, forget the mince pie, just give me the sherry.